You ever get those days when you're like totally in the zone doing something completely unrelated to work?
Oh, absolutely.
Like for me, it was I was trying to organize my entire board game collection. Like, who has the time?
I hear that.
And then out of nowhere, this mysterious package appears on my doorstep.
Okay.
And it's not some online order I forgot about. No, it's these two documents about a company called Y0LABS.
Y0LABS.
And let me tell you, it was a total curveball.
Sounds like you might have stumbled onto something interesting. I mean, my curiosity's piqued.
Yeah, right. So naturally, I had to dive in. And what I found was a company that's not content with just creating entertainment. They're building the tools for a whole new era of storytelling. And, one where the power is shifting.
It's a pattern we've seen time and time again in the tech world, right? The real disruption happens when you empower individuals, when you give them the tools to create and share their own visions. And that's what's so intriguing about Y0LABS, at least from what I'm gathering.
Exactly. They're tapping into that incredible power of user-generated content, UGC. But we're not just talking about another social media app here. This is next level.
Right.
We're talking full-blown tools to create interactive shows and games on platforms like Roblox and Fortnite, all without needing a Hollywood-sized budget.
Ambitious.
Yeah, it's about empowering anyone with a story to tell to actually bring that story to life. And that's where things get really interesting.
Well, and it's a smart move on their part. I mean, we've seen the numbers, right?
Yeah.
These user-generated content platforms, they're not just a fad. They're becoming the dominant force in entertainment, especially for younger generations.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating is that they're tackling this from two angles. On the one hand, they've got their own content studio. They're out there creating these really innovative, interactive sitcoms, and they're doing it inside Fortnite, inside Roblox, like they're not afraid to get their hands dirty.
It's a bold strategy. But, I mean, to really understand the potential here, we need to talk about their branch software.
Okay, so we're talking interactive sitcoms happening inside Fortnite and Roblox, too.
Yeah.
Color me intrigued. What's the deal with this World of Montezuma thing? It sounds oddly captivating.
Think of it as a proof of concept, but on a grand scale. It's not just about watching a sitcom. It's about stepping into that world, interacting with the characters, and even influencing the storyline. They've got celebrities and athletes involved. Their stories become mini-games within this larger narrative. It's really quite clever.
So they're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk.
Exactly.
But then on top of that, they're handing out the tools to empower anyone with a good idea to do the same.
Precisely. See, they understand that the future of content lies in these user-generated experiences.
Right.
Platforms like Roblox and Fortnite, they provide the stage. But actually building for those platforms, well, that can be a daunting task. Branch aims to be that missing link. Intuitive enough for aspiring creators, yet powerful enough for seasoned studios.
So they're essentially setting up the ultimate workshop right as the UGC gold rush is about to explode.
In a way, yes. I mean, the timing is certainly in their favor.
Smart move. But what makes Branch so different? I mean, what kind of hurdles does it overcome that traditional content creation tools can't?
Honestly, it's a night and day difference. Even a seemingly simple interactive story, and trust me, they're anything but simple, they involve a dizzying number of moving parts. You've got 3D models, sprawling scripts, audio files, intricate game logic. It can quickly become overwhelming.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Branch tackles this by becoming a central hub for everything. It's like project management software, but tailor-made for the unique demands of transmedia storytelling.
Hold on, transmedia storytelling. Can we unpack that for a second? I feel like that's one of those buzzwords that gets thrown around, but I'm not sure I could actually explain it.
It's not just about telling a story across multiple platforms. It's about creating a cohesive narrative experience that unfolds across different mediums.
Okay.
So, for example, you might have a game world in Roblox that's directly tied to a comic book series, and those both feed into an alternate reality game unfolding on social media. It's about creating a multifaceted story world that audiences can engage with on their own terms.
Okay, that's way more than just cross-posting a trailer on a few different channels. It's about weaving a web of story threads that all connect back to the same core experience.
Exactly. And Branch helps manage that complexity. Think of it like having a team of digital assistants coordinating every aspect of your project,
Oh, wow.
ensuring all the pieces fit together seamlessly.
So, less time wrestling with clunky software, more time actually crafting these intricate narratives. I can get behind that.
It's all about streamlining the process, right? Making it easier for creators to focus on what matters most, the story.
But let's get specific. Can you give me an example of how Branch actually makes life easier for creators, especially those who might not be coding whizzes?
Sure, imagine you're creating a character for your game world. Traditionally, you'd be jumping between different programs for modeling, rigging, animating, and who knows what else. Branch pulls all of that functionality into a single ecosystem, streamlining the entire process.
So instead of juggling like a dozen different programs, you've got everything right there at your fingertips, all within Branch.
Exactly. It's like having a digital artist studio, but without, the cluttered workspace and paint splattered everywhere.
I like that.
And here's where it gets even more interesting. Let's say you've built your game world, right? Your characters are ready for action, and now you want to share your creation with the world. This is where Branch really shines because it helps you deploy your project seamlessly across multiple platforms,
Yeah.
whether it's Roblox, Fortnite, Steam, or even your own custom platform.
Wow, so no more technical headaches trying to make sure your game runs smoothly on different platforms with their own quirks and technical specs. That's got to be huge for creators.
Well, absolutely. Especially for creators who are just starting out, right?
Yeah.
Who might not have the resources to navigate all of that complexity. It levels the playing field.
And that really speaks to this whole ethos, right? I mean, they're all about democratizing content creation. It's not about building tools just for the tech elite. It's about empowering anyone with a story to tell.
100%. And that commitment to user involvement, it goes all the way back to their roots.
Well, yeah, and speaking of their roots, didn't this whole thing start with an interactive Discord bot? I mean, that's not exactly the typical Hollywood origin story.
You're thinking of Hack Patch Delete. It's a passion project, actually. It started as a way to influence the storyline of this fictional podcast, suggesting, patches and fixes for a runaway AI. It's actually quite hilarious.
So this interactive sitcom about rogue AI started as a collaborative storytelling experiment on Discord.
Exactly.
That's amazing. It really
Yeah.
shows how they're not just handing down tools, they're trying to foster a community around this idea of shared creation,
Right.
which is really cool to see.
And that community is absolutely crucial. I mean, it allows for rapid iteration, constant feedback. It's a breeding ground for innovation, right? Where creators can learn from each other, push boundaries, and collectively raise the bar for what's possible in the realm of UGC.
It's like a digital renaissance almost. You have individual creators who are empowered to create these really sophisticated works that rival those of traditional studios.
Yeah, I like that analogy.
But it's not just about access to tools, right? I mean, there's
Right.
something about Branch's AI capabilities that feel like a game changer. What's the deal with that?
You're right, to zero in on the AI. Remember those tedious tasks that just suck the life out of creative projects? Things like formatting hundreds of assets, making sure all the audio lines up perfectly, or optimizing graphics for different platforms. Branch uses AI to automate a lot of that grunt work, which frees up creators to focus on, the heart of their project.
It's like having a tireless digital assistant that lives for spreadsheets and never complains about repetitive tasks. That's like a dream come true for anyone who's ever gotten bogged down in the nitty-gritty details of content creation.
100%. It allows for a level of efficiency and precision that would be almost impossible to achieve manually, even for a large team.
Right.
But the real magic, in my opinion, happens when you combine that efficiency with, the power of human creativity. That's where the truly groundbreaking stuff emerges.
So it's not about AI replacing creators, it's about AI augmenting their abilities, allowing them to reach new heights of storytelling and innovation.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's why investors are getting so excited about this.
You're absolutely right. Remember, Weta Digital, the visual effects powerhouse behind The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They revolutionized filmmaking. And it wasn't just with their artistry, it was with their innovative tools and workflows.
Right.
Those tools gave them a competitive edge and, let's be honest, a lot of financial success.
Right.
Imagine Branch becoming the Weta Digital of UGC. That's the kind of potential we're talking about.
That's a powerful analogy. If Branch becomes the go-to platform for creators on Roblox, Fortnite, and beyond, is sitting on something truly revolutionary.
And that's exactly what has investors so intrigued, right? The UGC space is exploding, and whoever cracks the code for easy, accessible creation is going to be incredibly well positioned for the future.
It's like being at the forefront of a technological tidal wave. You can either ride that wave or you can get swept away by it. It's almost like we're watching a new creative industry being born right in front of us. One where instead of a few big players calling all the shots, you've got millions of individuals, all with the power to create and share their visions. And the crazy thing is, projected something like $129 million just from general licensing of Branch, and that's on top of another $150 million they're expecting from enterprise deals.
Those are some pretty impressive figures, no doubt about it. But what's fascinating to me, that really sets Y0LABS apart, is that their success is directly tied to the success of others. Every license of Branch, every hit game, every immersive experience that's built on their platform, it reinforces their vision. They're not just profiting from a trend, they're building a whole ecosystem, one that ideally benefits creators and audiences alike.
Which ultimately benefits all of us, right? I mean, if we're
Right.
being totally honest, the more people who have the tools and the platform to tell their stories, the more diverse voices we have out there, the more our entire cultural landscape is enriched. We're talking more innovation, more creativity, more stories that may have never seen the light of day under the old model.
Absolutely, and it pushes the boundaries of how we even define entertainment, right? Imagine interactive documentaries where you could explore different viewpoints on an issue, or choose your own adventure games that respond in real time to your decisions, or even live events that blur the lines between the virtual and the real. It's like the possibilities really are limitless.
Okay, now my head is spinning with all the possibilities. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I have to ask the obvious question. Why should the average person care about all of this? Like, how does this mission, this whole shift towards democratized content creation actually affect our daily lives?
Because it represents a fundamental shift in how we interact with stories, with information, with the world around us, really. We're no longer just passive consumers, we're active participants in shaping the narratives that define our lives. Think about the impact YouTube had on video. Think about what podcasts did for audio. This has that same disruptive energy, but on a much grander scale, right? It's about giving individuals the power to not just consume content, but to create and share it.
Wow. It's almost like we're all becoming storytellers now.
Exactly.
Not just like the privileged few with access to those expensive studios and gatekeepers.
Exactly. And that's an incredibly powerful idea. It means the next groundbreaking piece of entertainment, the next thought-provoking experience. It might not come from a Hollywood studio or a big-budget game developer. It could come from a teenager in their bedroom, a teacher in their classroom, or anyone with a story to tell and the tools to tell it.
It's like the invention of the printing press all over again. But this time, instead of just words on a page, we're talking about building these immersive worlds and experiences that people can share and interact with.
I like that analogy. It really captures the scale and the potential of what we're talking about here.
This has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for walking me through all of this. It's been incredibly eye-opening.
It's been my pleasure. And, if you'll excuse me, I think I might need to go dust off some of my own story ideas and see what this Branch software is all about.
From your lips to the digital god's ears, right? Who knows? Maybe we'll be experiencing one of your creations sometime soon. But until then, this has been an incredible journey into the world of Y0LABS and the future of storytelling. So to everyone listening, keep exploring, keep creating, and most importantly, keep those stories coming.